been a fortnight. You know what that means. Legion of Boom are back with another episode of LOB Cast Wrestling, our wrestling podcast where we hit record, spat some wrestling nonsense into your ear holes, and then upload it, I suppose.
No script, no edits, all nonsense.
Exactly. I am the voice of reason, Dave Stevens, and of course joining me in the LOBcast studio again is my... I haven't got anything funny to say.
I knew it would only take a couple of weeks for you to not prepare one.
I'm sure I had something on the way round, but I've already messed it. But anyway, he's the Tower of Power, the man of the hour, Lee Hazel.
Very much so, thank you.
I'll have to write on my hand, wouldn't I? So I'll have to write a very funny descriptive word for you.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Although the first thing I would like to say about you two, our viewers, is that right now you are wearing matching t-shirt and socks.
I am. Well, I've got the Deadpool socks on again. It's become a thing with the...
They're the official LOBcast socks.
Well, I've been wearing them. I think I've worn them pretty much every LOBcast, haven't I?
Have you? Has it been that much of a thing?
I've been purposely wearing them. In the thing. But,
well, next time you've got to complete the set and wear some Deadpool trousers.
No, I'll have to wear my Spider-Man trainers.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll have to wear them.
Spider-Man trainers.
They are nifty.
Mm-hmm. Well, I tell you what, this episode is going to be even more ramshackle than others because whereas before we've had WWE and AEW have been very kind enough to neatly organise some events for us to watch, this time around we actually, I think the biggest thing that happened was probably,
Well, we've got no shows. I mean, we had a semi-PLE from NXT, but I've forgotten half of that already.
Yeah, no,
and then
same here.
I think we've got Dynasty is going to be before the next LOBcast, but I mean, it's going to be literally 2 days before, and they've only announced 3 matches, so we'll probably end up talking about half of that anyway. So, I mean, it's just going to be a bit freeform, I suppose.
Absolutely, yeah, no, it's going to be even crazier than usual. However, I suggest that we figure that out by cracking open this can of King Queen Knave and New England Pale Ale by Pressure Drop. Not sponsored, but I went there at the weekend to their brewery in Tottenham, and it was quite lovely.
That is a taste, Lee. Surely, I might need some getting used to that one.
I did offer you Spanish lager before we joined on this show.
No, but we did say that I'll try random stuff, so I'll have to get something funky for you next week.
I mean, if you think that this is a taste, then the one we've got after this, that looks even tastier.
I don't know. Well, I mean, it's probably a good thing that it don't go down too well, because, I mean, last time I did have a few.
Yeah, I think we had 3 beers during that podcast, and some of them were quite strong.
And I did have some before I came round as well.
Oh, yeah, of course you did.
My wife told me that she could tell that I'd been drinking. and she wasn't impressed with the amount of swearing I did as well. Apparently I said the C word. Somewhere in there, apparently.
Was that also the podcast where we advertised your wife's charity run?
It might have been, yeah.
Yeah, well, that go down well.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, I'd been drinking, and then I came in to watch John Moxley versus Adam Copeland, so you got me all rolled up before we started.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Oh, yeah. Oh, do you know what? Sod it. Let's get straight into that, because I know that old man Dave is going to yell at some clouds for this one.
What? Because of the... what, are we going to talk about the spot?
Oh, yeah.
Is that what we're going to start off? Right.
Yeah, let's start off strong,
So for those who don't know, well... Last time we had a rave about John Moxley versus Adam Copeland. So AEW's answer to this was let's just do the match again. Let's just do it again. Right. But this time, I mean, the match was slightly better match. Anyway,
I thought we eclipsed that last one.
Regardless of the match, they decided to get out a 2x4 with nails embedded into it. And Adam Copeland proceeded to hit John Moxley, not only hit him with it, but then he suplexed him onto it, and it literally stuck.
Suplexed onto a bed of nails.
And it literally stuck in his back, and it was gruesome AF.
It was so embedded into his back. When he stood up, the club came with him.
Oh, yeah.
No one could figure out how to get it out of his back for about 45 seconds. There is a spot, there is a certain thing that... Oh, pardon me. Oh, God, it started already. That's not good.
We've only had 2 sips.
I've only had 2 sips. Yeah, see, this is why we don't edit this podcast, is because we want to keep the burps fresh so they retain the flavour.
Yeah.
So Wheeler Yuta was interfering on Mox's behalf in this match, and it was up to him to try and get the club, the nails, out of Jon Moxley's back.
Well, he couldn't do it.
The referee couldn't do it. The referee couldn't
Gravity
do it.
couldn't do it.
The wrestler or the concept.
It was gruesome. Well, so what did you think of the spot? Well, I'm not going to get... We'll get into the rest of it. But what did you think of the spot itself?
I think that went horribly and hilariously wrong.
But did you like it? Or was it
that I do not have a weak stomach for this stuff.
No, I liked the spot.
Oh, you liked the spot?
I liked the spot. I thought the spot was great.
Yeah.
It was gruesome. It was nasty. I enjoyed... Because, again, it's one of them things. It's like, he had some nail sticking in his back, but he's not like, a tetanus shot and he's all right. You know what I mean? So, if he wants to do that thing... The only thing that annoys me is I paid £20 to see a pay-per-view. Why did he not do it on the pay-per-view? Why did he do it there?
Yeah.
And the thing that makes... that everyone's talking about this spot as well, and they don't fail to mention that the match was still crap.
Did you think the match was still crap?
It was better than the pay-per-view match. Yeah. It was still crap, though.
I was all right with the match.
No, it was. They've just basically you had the interference from the rest of the Death Riders. They've basically just reset to 6 weeks ago. Storyline wise, it's just the same old shit again.
Well, I mean, you've got the bit at the end where FTR came out. Dax has waved off Cope's hand of, friendship or whatever. He refused to shake the hand at the end of the match. So maybe that's going to lead to some people speculating that perhaps the all-in match is going to be FTR versus Edge and Christian.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's splitting off into a different storyline. That's going to be nothing to do with Death Riders. Yeah. We're just going to continue on with the same old Death Rider crap.
Well, hopefully next week what happens, because we don't have too much longer till
we've got 2 weeks before Dynasty. I'm hoping...
Do we have 2 weeks until Dynasty?
It's the 6th. Dynasty is the 6th, so it's 2 weeks.
When the fuck is WrestleMania then?
2 weeks after that.
Oh, God. So we've
WrestleMania's Bank Holiday weekend.
So, hang on 1 minute. So, hang on a second. You got... It's the 6th, you say?
The 6th of April. And
the
then
6th of April is Dynasty,
it's going to be the Bank Holiday weekend, whenever that falls on. Because I was looking out, because it was like, I can watch Night 2 on the Bank Holiday Monday.
So, effectively, the Death Riders have got 2 weeks worth of storyline to build up in order to convince people that, Swerve Strickland.
We know what's going to happen. It's going to be the same old shit. Death Riders come out, interfere, and beat people up. It's going to be the same crap for 2 weeks.
They've
I just hope.
to put it on Swerve.
I hope the belt changes hands. It's got to be. He won it at Dynasty last year as well. So I hope they do the same, because it's got to come off the Death Riders now. It's just ridiculous.
Because apparently, and for those of you listening at home, everyone speculates that the plan for the AEW World Championship to be taken off Moxley is for a wrestler called Darby Allin to do it because of some storyline spots that they have done in the past. But
isn't he still... When's he climbing Mount Everest, though?
Literally, I believe his ascent begins this week. And climbing Everest is a weeks-long... Well, I don't know if it's weeks long, but I know it's days long.
And that's without any time for recovery afterwards.
I mean, he could... Yeah, you're going to need time to recover after that.
Yeah,
and then again, this is Darby Allin
we're
talking
about. Swerve. Just put on Swerve. If they want Darby Allin to beat him, they can take it back off Swerve again, and then have to.
And frankly, I actually think that Darby Allin and Swerve Strickland is an even better story than
Moxley
and Darby.
Get rid of it,
because Darby Allin and Swerve Strickland used to fight in what's it called?
Defy.
Yeah, Defy. Yeah, well. Whatever the promotion in Portland, Oregon was, because that's where they... Well,
I think that's Defy.
Yeah, so the Pacific Northwest, I think actually them specifically, they're from Seattle, Washington.
There's a few AEW guys from that
promotion and stuff. But specifically, they have quite a long history wrestling each other in the Pacific Northwest, which is why I think that Darby Allin versus Swerve Strickland even better idea than Moxley versus Darby.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, it was hilarious. Wheeler Yuta doing that, the spot that people have done for years on end, where the professional wrestler walks into the ring, sees something they find shocking, and to emphasise that, they put their hands in their hair and they give this big, wide, shocked emoji face.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the first time in the history of professional wrestling where I actually think someone did that naturally.
Yeah.
It wasn't posed or staged or faked gruesome. Or anything.
It was gruesome.
It was gruesome, yeah. But, like you say, yeah, the spot was great. It's not my match of the night by any stretch of the imagination.
It wasn't a good match. I mean, well, at least they didn't put it on as the main event for
Yeah.
it. Yeah. But then that confused me because this time it should have been the main event of Dynamite.
Yeah, probably should have been actually. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm very confused as to what they're.
Well, they gave they said, right, okay, so the women should have main evented the pay-per-view that we're on, so we're going to give them a random Wednesday Dynamite instead. It seems like
Who was it? It was Megan Payne
versus Chris Statlander,
yeah.
And, well, really, the main event wasn't even that match. It was Toni Storm doing one of the most phenomenal pieces of dialogue I have ever heard in a professional wrestling ring.
See, I like Toni Storm. I'm not feeling Megan Payne anymore.
No, I'm not.
I'm a bit bored with Megan Payne.
Yeah, she has
my wife don't like Megan Payne either.
Yeah, she's
statuesque.
She's very statuesque, but she also keeps that face as still as stone.
Yeah, my wife don't like her face.
You
know,
she's a very attractive face, a very pretty face.
Do you know what she said? She said she's got the type of face of a girl in a club that wants to start a fight. I think that's what she said, or something to that effect.
But if you could imagine,
she's got like the bitch face that always wants to start trouble in a club. That's what face she's got.
But then again, that would be a bit more personality than she's currently exhibiting.
Yeah, I'm just confused because, well, we haven't really got to see any of her personality yet, which is a shame because I would have thought you would have shown that going into the title match.
Yeah.
But I mean, I just don't understand the role she's playing because you had Camille who could have filled that role, who they've apparently ghosted now because you ain't seen Camille for God knows
Well,
how long.
I mean, I was not the biggest fan of Camille when she was wrestling.
Yeah, but I mean,
she was not the greatest. I think.
But I mean, but you've signed Megan Payne when you already had a Camille, or you could have turned. You could have turned Chris Statlander heel, and it would have proved the same. I mean, you can't. Well, I mean, you don't want a big show her and keep flipping it, but you could have turned Jamie Hayter heel.
Yeah,
and
I suppose you
that
could
role.
have done
We
it.
could have had Jamie Hayter versus.
Yeah, and it's Dynasty, and it's a big pay-per-view match, and I know I know they're trying to prove that they're trying to do something with these women instead of just signing them and firing them, forgetting them.
But don't sign them in the first place if you don't need them. I mean, that gets me onto another guy who's Speedball Mike Bailey. We've signed him. Why? Why?
He's great. That first match was fantastic.
I find him a bit corny, to be honest.
You find him a bit...
Yeah.
I can't believe this. You know, his gimmick is basically 80s movies.
Yeah,
he's basically a cross between the Karate Kid and what's his name from Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah, but he doesn't look threatening at all.
Do you not think that when you like those kicks, you're a Van Damme fan?
Yeah, I didn't like it. I just... To be honest, I mean, you might as well just put Matt Sydal in the position because they just... You know, if you're just going to have someone like little and flimsy and does some flips and kicks and stuff, you know, you had a Matt Sydal who was perfectly good and you just got rid of him.
Yeah.
I just don't understand why he's signing these guys because I'm not being funny. I mean, to be honest, I mean, I've only seen the two matches from Speedball Mike Bailey, so I can't really criticise too much. I found him a bit cheesy, let's put it that way. But the thing is, I just look at him and I think, well, next year you're going to be on Ring of Honor.
Do you think that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Which is...
I guarantee he won't be in a high-profile match next year's Dynasty. He will be a lot lower down the card next year than he is now.
I mean, honestly, yeah, like I can definitely see that. I mean, you know, he'll end up in a trios or something like that. He'll end up teaming with he'll probably end up teaming with the Outrunners.
Yeah, it'll just get forgotten. But that's what I mean. I mean, I'm not. I mean, I don't want to criticise because I ain't seen his work, but I just don't see why he bothered signing him when you've got people on the roster who could have filled that role.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, he's got so many people on that roster, and he's got people in Ring of Honor who he could have brought up to fill that void. You know.
Well, apparently we've also got Josh Alexander coming soon.
I'm not being funny. I mean, I've known this to Josh Alexander, but where's he going to fit in?
Do you know who Josh Alexander is?
He was TNA champion, wasn't he?
Yeah. Do you know who else? Do you know what else he was? The reason why people thought that he was actually bound from WWE.
Well, he was Ethan Page's
he was Ethan Page's tag partner in the North, who were apparently the longest running TNA tag champions of all time, which absolutely shocked me considering the list of legendary tag teams that they've had in TNA. You know, more than the Motor City Machine Guns, more than Generation Me, who then turned into the Young Bucks, more than Beer Money. That shocked me. I thought Beer Money would have had that by a mile.
Yeah, but then again, I mean, you say longest running, that's a singular title reign, though, isn't it? Whereas, you know, Beer Money could have had it, I don't know.
They've probably had it multiple times, They've probably had it like 5 or 6 times.
But yeah, I mean, it's like, well, you sort of speaking of Ethan Page, because you said, you weren't surprised Ethan Page got let go, because he's basically an MJF. Yeah, but that's what I mean. But you've just signed a speedball Mike Bailey, who's basically a younger Evan Bourne.
Yeah.
Or Matt Sydal, yeah, and you've just got rid, and you've just let Matt. I'm pretty sure Matt Sydal's left now.
I forgot that Matt Sydal and Evan Bourne were the same person.
Yeah, but you know, you had them on the roster. You know, you've got God knows how many people in. Well, speaking of bringing people up from Ring of Honor, they brought. It seems like we're getting some more Billy Starks, which I'm a very big fan of.
My favourite match of that particular episode of Dynamite, which is one of my favourite episodes of Dynamite that I have seen this year. That was a fantastic episode.
She's great. Because I remember because I don't watch Ring of Honor, obviously. I ain't paying for that. But I saw she joined towards the end of AEW Dark, and I saw her now, and I think she was 18 at the time, and she was fantastic. And I thought, well, why? I thought, I mean, I'm glad. It seems like they've done quite a lot with her at Ring of Honor. It seems to have got already, because I thought, why didn't she? Her and Athena, why weren't they on the main roster?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. I tell you what, in that match, the match against Mercedes, even better spot than I thought. The whole Moxley getting suplexed onto spikes thing. One of the most visceral reactions I have ever had to anything in professional wrestling. Billy Starks gets Mercedes Moné into a pinning predicament right near the ropes. And you know what's going to happen. You can tell what's going to happen from 500 miles away. Mercedes Moné is going to just get her foot on the ropes. And she does. But Billy Stark's facial expression when she sees that foot on the ropes, it's like that foot just shot her entire family. And
let's not forget, that was just after the move that she did as well. It looked right, like, because that made me wince because I thought she dropped her on her head, but it was a very good move.
Yeah, Mercedes Moné's head goes just out of screen at just the right moment for you to not see what's happened to her head, for you to not know whether or not her head lands in a good position or in a, oh my god, she's going to need to go to the hospital position.
Yeah, I really rate Billy Starks.
Oh yeah, no, that was my favourite match of that particular episode of Dynamite. That really brought me in.
They had a few girls on that Ring of Honor. I mean, Athena's still there, I think. But you also had a legit Layla Hirsch who they've let go.
Yeah.
Which I'm surprised because I thought she was brilliant.
She was one of my favourite. When she was in AEW proper, she was my absolute favourite woman on that roster.
Yeah.
Her moveset, she was like fucking Chad Gable with the suplexes.
Get rid of Serena Deeb. Bring her back. I mean, Serena Deeb was on, I think, Collision this week.
Yeah.
Randomly. It's like, why?
It's like she keeps... She's the Natalia of that division.
I think AEW needs a women's tag team division.
Yeah, they need something to give these women something to
because you could pair Serena Deeb with someone with a personality.
Yeah.
And then they'd gel, because you got the wrestler and you got
the personality, yes. The in-ring and the outer ring.
Yeah.
And it would be, and obviously they've already got a couple of them, good tag team prospects. The Vendetta. The Vendetta is a fantastic idea, and they don't do anything with it.
Well, I don't know, because back in the first, right at the beginning of AEW, they had a women's tag team tournament. That I think.
Oh my god, I forgot that even existed.
Brandy Rhodes was still there, wasn't she? And I thought, we're going to get like. All the beers coming up on me now. I thought we're going to get some women's. I think they should do a women's tag team division in AEW, because then you can get some of these women on the telly who are not You know, they're not doing anything. You can get them in story and have another storyline with some women.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know,
yeah.
Then you don't have to have women disappear for 3 months. You know, we got to see Julia Hart versus Queen Aminata this week, I think, on Collision.
Yeah.
Which is apparently their third match in in a trilogy of matches.
Yeah.
But I swear their first match was probably a year and a half ago. Something ridiculous. I mean, probably weren't that long. I'm being facetious, but you know, it's you know, I mean, I haven't seen them for about 4 months.
No, yeah.
So it's just I think they need to like focus on the people they want to use.
Yeah.
And actually focus on them and trim some of the fat, to be honest. I'm not that I'm advocating people to lose their jobs, but you know, focus on a story. If you're going to rotate people, instead of like have a match, like you've even got the there's a storyline with what they call Top Flight and they call themselves the Crew, Leo Rush and.
Oh, is that what they call themselves now? Yeah.
Well, they're silly jackets. Yeah. But like
the ones that look like they're COVID.
But how long has that storyline been going? But I'd rather them just condense it, have a pay-per-view cycle storyline, have them on telly every week, and then disappear them. Finish it.
I don't understand what the mentality is with these really, really, really elongated, stretched out stories, because they go 2 or 3 weeks without having any beats in them.
Yeah, and then they all of a sudden they're back nearly a month later, and it's like, oh, that was a storyline. I forgot about it. No, put the storyline on for like a month or 2, and then rotate. And if you're going to rotate your stars, then start a new storyline.
Momentum is something that AEW has struggled with for such a long time. Yeah. There has to be some sort of.
Not everything needs to be a long-term story. Yeah. There are certain long-term stories. Hangman Adam Page is a long-term story that works. You know, but that's a subtle one. That's not like, he comes out and attacks this guy, there's a match with this guy 2 months after his last match.
He's just had a 1 month feud with MJF,
done,
and that
dusted.
appears to be absolutely done. But that's the thing.
Yeah, but that serves his larger story. Yeah,
and that particular feud is definitely not done by a mile.
Yeah.
But this chapter of it had a satisfying conclusion, so that when the next one comes up, when the next one opens,
you can leave it a couple of months before revisiting it. Whereas, you know, these other weird storylines, they're not ending; they're just continuing over half a year, but they're like every 3 or 4 weeks. Whereas just do the story, have an end, and then if you want to come back to the storyline, then you reignite the feud. You don't just continue a dead feud. It pisses me off. Get worked up nowadays.
Getting worked up. So did you want to talk about? Oh God, I keep forgetting what it was called.
Technically, we've spoken about. I mean, we spoke about Speedball Mike Bailey.
Yeah.
We haven't spoken about. He's actually going to be fighting Kenny Omega.
Yeah.
And Ricochet. Because technically, that then, if we speak about that match, we would have then spoke about all 3 matches announced for Dynasty. Then.
Okay. Yeah.
Because we've already done Tony Storm and we spoke about Mega Bang. We spoke about Tony Storm, but
like I say, my favourite match of that day was not Megan Bane. Mercedes Moné versus Billy Starks.
Yeah, that was Wednesday, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I think I was really surprised that I liked that match so much that I liked it better than the 4-way that opened Dynamite, because I thought the Speedball Mike Bailey versus Ricochet versus Orange Cassidy versus Dunkzilla Mark Davis, I thought that was fantastic.
That was a good match. I don't get that. Speedball Mike Bailey was all right in that match, but that's what I mean. He's like in a multi-man match.
Yeah,
he's not going to be TNA champ. He's not going to be TNT champion or anything. I don't see him. He'll end up in a trios or something, won't he?
That's I do think there's a reason why Kenny Omega is facing both Ricochet and Speedball Mike Bailey, and it's basically because Kenny Omega's not going to face one of them at a pay-per-view on their own.
No, I don't think they're big enough stars.
No.
Plus, I think, it's a way to beat Speedball Mike Bailey without pinning him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they're going to pin Ricochet.
Do you reckon they're going to pin Ricochet?
Yeah.
Okay, alright.
Kenny Omega ain't losing, is he?
Oh no, Kenny Omega's not losing. But I'm also thinking to myself, they've just brought Mike Bailey in.
So what, they bring him in to pin him?
No, I think...
Mike Bailey ain't going to take the pin, is he?
I'm not sure, because obviously you've got, you're trying to build Mike Bailey up because you've just brought him in. But also, Ricochet has got a ton of potential after that swerve feud.
He has, but I could see him taking because the problem with Ricochet is the one problem with Ricochet is he sells too good.
Yeah, he sells too good
because he sells so good. It makes him a great heel to then have the good guy come back on and
I mean, it's the Shawn Michaels factor, isn't it?
Yeah, if he's a face, he's Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah,
or you know what I mean. And if he's the heel, he's taking the pin because he's getting he's taking the finish.
Yeah, I mean
that's the problem because I like Ricochet. He's a great wrestler.
Yeah,
but...
and the thing is that what's made us like Ricochet after all this time isn't his in-ring ability, isn't his ability to have fantastic, epic 5-star matches. It's the fact that he took this role of being an absolute dickhead and made it his own.
He made it work. He's really good. I'm really enjoying him.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I definitely think that, well, obviously Kenny Omega's not losing it to either of those guys.
That's what I mean. Kenny Omega ain't losing.
No. Kenny Omega's taking it to either Double or Nothing or All In, and he's combining the International Championship with the Continental Crown.
Probably.
And then, hopefully, what will happen is the...
Continental thing will just be a cup.
Or, will be basically... it already is AEW's G1 Climax, but the point of the G1 Climax is that you get the shot at Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah.
So if you win the C2, then you should win the win the right to face at Revolution.
Yeah, maybe, but then they already do that with the Owen Hart Cup, don't they? The winner gets the All In.
Yeah, but you ultimately get a Money in the Bank ladder match. You get a Money in the Bank shot from the Money in the Bank ladder match, and you get a Royal Rumble from WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So it's like you.
Well, maybe they'll do. Maybe they'll just do something. But I mean, I think it's a bit silly having a belt.
Mm.
I mean, I don't think it's silly having a belt, but then it's a belt that they defend throughout the year. Then it's just a bit. You get one title change maybe, and then they're defending it again in the tournament. You know, it's just so.
Yeah, no, maybe that's...
so they're going to combine it and call it the Intercontinental Championship, are they?
I hope to hell not, because that is just too much of a... It's too much of a WWE thing.
Yeah, but I mean, to be honest, I've noticed him doing a lot of WWE-isms.
Do you know why? Because they've brought in so many WWE talent. This is their ideas. The whole face of... Christian winning the Casino Gauntlet match at All In London... It was his idea to have basically have that be a Money in the Bank briefcase sort of thing, because that's where he's come from. Yeah. Because he's had an idea for that sort of thing.
Yeah, but see, I didn't mind that, but they just didn't execute it too well.
Yeah. But it's just... Yeah, like, you bring in all these WWE guys.
I'm talking about things like... I've noticed on AEW, occasionally they've started doing the thing where you see the wrestlers arrive into the arena and that at the beginning of the show.
That.
Yeah, and it's just like, that's blatantly a WWE thing. Yeah. It's like, don't do it.
And secondly, why do they do it in WWE? Who the hell is turning up to Monday Night Raw 5 seconds after the show starts? No. How unprofessional is that?
Oh, is it supposed to be them arriving live, is it? I just, because I fast forwarded it, I just assumed it was meant to be like earlier today type.
No, I think usually, look who's just arrived to the arena.
God.
Like, who does that? Who turns up to a show 5 minutes while it's running?
Considering anyone in the know, we all know that they're meant to be there at 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Exactly,
Isn't that a cool time, 1 o'clock?
Something like that.
Or 3 or something like that, yeah.
Although, if you're John Moxley, arriving, you're driving for 11 hours through a blizzard to get to the place where you're supposed to be.
And then jump on a bat. Oh, what?
That man's life.
Yeah, I just don't understand why he didn't do that bat spot at the pay-per-view. I don't know why. But yeah. Oh, I don't know.
So do you want to talk NXT?
We can do. We had this I can't even remember the PLA thing.
No, I can't even remember it either.
Well, you had the title unification match,
which was, and people kept saying that this was the
disappointed.
Best. Was you?
Yeah.
People were saying that this was the best episode of NXT ever.
Nah.
And I am.
The New Year's Day one was better than this.
New Year's Day was better than this. I actually think the Vengeance Day was better than this.
The proper
Roadblock.
PLE.
That's what this new one's called.
Yeah.
Roadblock.
The Sunday night PLE that they done was better. Yeah.
But then again, that's not an episode of NXT, is it? So
but
probably not.
this
fair
one, I was a bit disappointed with that main event. But then apparently the reason why they merged the titles is because
she's injured.
Julia's injured. So if she was injured, it was a good match for someone who's injured, I suppose.
Yeah. I thought that the opening match was really good, but it was really good for one reason.
Who was the opening? I can't remember.
Opening match was Fraxian versus the Hardy Boys.
Yeah, we knew that would have been good though.
And but the reason it's good is because Fraxian's really good. The Hardy Boys are...
Well, they looked better than they did in AEW, I tell you.
Yeah, probably.
They looked better than they did in AEW.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Hardy Boys it is a bit sad watching.
You get flashbacks from them too, and thinking to yourself, maybe it's a good idea we never got the Edge and Christian versus Hardy Boys match in AEW that we might have had.
Yeah, it might have ruined the 90s for me.
Yeah. Might have ruined some of the best WrestleMania matches ever. Speaking of which, oh god, I say that a lot and I hate it.
Speaking of which, you do say that a lot.
Yeah. Anyway, WrestleMania 41.
Oh, should we talk about WrestleMania?
Yeah, we should talk about WrestleMania.
I suppose it is going to be a big show.
Because the only things that I've been able to watch, because I've been in Amsterdam for the weekend, so I ain't had much time to watch wrestling since we last came about. Yes, I know, it's a disgrace. I'm not watching every single piece of wrestling television that God sends me. Sue me.
You're not missing much of some of it. Some of it you're not missing at all.
Oh, that's one of the reasons why I was actually excited about doing this particular program, is because most of the WWE stuff I've seen has been through YouTube, because I'm not watching entire 2.5 hour programs or even attempting to just scrub through them. I've seen on YouTube, John Cena, Cody Rhodes, full segment, 20 minutes, fantastic, I'll watch that.
To be honest, that's the only good stuff that's really been on.
And I'm not even that big of a fan of this whole John Cena gimmick. I think he's coming across as a Karen.
Yeah.
He is whiny, he is complaining. None of this has anything to do with Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is the third wheel in this feud. Because
he's turned heel, but he's still clean-cut John Cena.
Yeah.
He's not like doing anything edgy or anything, is he?
And the reason for that is because they are so afraid that they're going to start cheering John Cena in his heel turn and start booing Cody Rhodes, that they've made John Cena's heel turn as much about the fans as possible. Because that's the thing. This isn't John Cena versus Cody Rhodes. This is John Cena versus the fans. This is reminding me of WrestleMania 2002. I think it was WrestleMania
That would have been
X8.
That would have been 18, yeah.
Yeah, WrestleMania X8.
Rock Hogan's stuff.
The one after that. Not the match after that. The main event when Rock Hogan should have been the main event.
Oh, Jericho.
Triple H, Stephanie McMahon. The whole feud was really about Triple H and Stephanie. Even though Chris Jericho was the champion, Chris Jericho was the third wheel in his own WrestleMania main event.
Yeah, because when Stephanie was in Jericho's corner.
Yeah, Stephanie was in Jericho's corner.
Yeah, even though weren't he the undisputed champion at that point? Oh.
And how did he win that undisputed championship?
He beat Rock and
Stone Cold in one night. Yeah. And he was the third wheel in his own story, the story he should have been the star of. And I think that this same thing is happening with Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is the third wheel. John Cena is not feuding with Cody Rhodes at the moment. He's feuding with the fans. It's all about the fans. And Cody, when he stepped up to defend the fans, he had real "I will defend your honour" energy.
Yeah.
He had that kid in the club who steps up to defend the woman who's having a Barney with the ex-girlfriend, despite the fact that the woman can absolutely hold her own.
Yeah.
He kind of looks a little simpish right now. He kind of looks a little bit cucky to me.
Yeah. I mean, I have to say, and honestly, looking at the WrestleMania, I'm not that excited for a lot of the matches. I'm not really excited for hardly any of them, to be fair.
Do you know what? When you said to me that WrestleMania was how long away? Yeah, 19th of April. That actually gave me a bit of hope, because that means 1, 2... Okay, we've got Yeah, we've got 3 weeks. So that means we've got 6 episodes of Raw and SmackDown to go.
Or is it 4 weeks? I mean, I think that was 4 weeks, actually.
Was that 4 weeks? So
yeah, because it's the 25th today. Yeah.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've got 4 weeks to go, which means we've still got 8 more. I did.
Yeah, but a lot of the matches have been locked in, so we know what the matches are. It's just making me excited. Yeah. They've just got to make me excited for the matches that they've booked.
So one thing that I've been complaining about recently is the fact that I really have not been digging Jey Uso versus Gunther.
Yeah, don't care.
However, they did something this week that made me think that, oh, wait a minute, this could have something interesting happen to it, because they've needed to give it this kind of like this oomph to it. And the fact that they've now introduced Jimmy Uso into the mix, I think what's going to happen there is Gunther is absolutely going to destroy Jimmy.
And that's going to fire up Jey.
And that's going to fire up Jey.
Yeah.
And so that match is basically going to be Jey's vengeance.
Yeah, it's
predictable, more interesting than what they're currently doing with it.
Yeah, I still don't care though.
Yeah. The other thing that... And apparently they had a better showing on Raw than they did on SmackDown this week, because no one really liked the segment with him on SmackDown, was CM Punk, Rollins and Reigns. A match that should be Punk versus Reigns, but clearly someone don't want to do a job. So they've brought in Rollins to take the pin in that match.
Yeah.
Which, and you know what I want to see happen? I want to see Rollins stack them and pin the pair of them.
Again, it's another match I don't care. Because I was looking forward to seeing Punk versus Cody Rhodes for the main event. I don't really care. I don't get what this match... This match should really be Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns. I don't know why CM Punk's in there.
Oh, you think it should be Reigns versus Rollins? Yeah. I thought the direction they were going was absolutely Punk versus Reigns, but clearly someone ain't happy about doing the job.
I mean, to be honest, I don't get where the feud between Punk and Reigns has come from, because obviously you've got a bit more of a history with Rollins and Punk.
Yeah. Well,
and obviously you've got a lot of history with Rollins and Reigns.
I mean, clearly, sir, you don't...
I don't know.
Sorry, that was a bit of a pause there because I just noticed something on the edit and I was just making sure that my eyes weren't deceiving me. I thought we were using the wrong microphone. But no, we did do a sound check, so we should be absolutely fine. Yeah, no, sorry. Yeah, what was I going to say? Oh God, I've completely lost. That is completely.
We're talking about Reigns. You're talking about
no
Reigns.
edits.
No.
Yeah, talking about Punk. So the reason why you don't know the history between Punk and Reigns is because you weren't reading the dirt sheets. You weren't reading all that crap because. All right, so the skinny for everybody.
But you can get into that. But the thing is, but we shouldn't be basing WrestleMania matches on dirt sheets.
Exactly.
We should be basing our WrestleMania matches on on the weekly television program.
This is exactly the sort of stuff that AEW was doing in 2024. They have stopped doing, and that AEW has jumped in quality.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So basically, the thought is that. Do you know the whole Roman Reigns got booed thing, like back in 2015 or whenever it was?
Yeah, for a long time. When they was trying to make him the guy for no reason.
Yeah, so for ages and ages and ages, WWE were trying to push Roman Reigns as the top guy, and it did not work until he turned heel during the pandemic. But for years, the crowds were rejecting him. Main event after main event after main event.
Yeah, well, he went away for a bit as well during the pandemic because he had leukemia as well.
Yeah.
So when he came back, people were actually pleased to see him.
Oh, absolutely.
But before that, it seemed like, he was getting shoved down everyone's throat, weren't he, before that?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And it was very forced, yeah.
Yeah. So the thing is that CM Punk appeared on a podcast with his good friend Colt Cabana, who is no longer his good friend anymore. And on that podcast, he said a few things about Roman Reigns that got picked up by the internet wrestling community, and that stuff started trickling in to WWE's weekly crowds, and that's when you really started to see the crowds turn on Roman Reigns. So forever and ever and ever, Reigns has blamed CM Punk for the fact that he got booed.
Well, I don't even remember what he actually said about him.
Oh, it was something along the lines of he does the same few things every match. He doesn't have it. He wanted Chris Hero in the Shield instead of him.
Yeah, I know he wanted Chris Hero in the Shield, but
I mean, I'll be honest. I don't think Chris Hero would have had quite the impact as the enforcer of the Shield as Roman Reigns did. I do think that was a good call.
But the whole point of the Shield initially was supposed to be bodyguards of CM Punk. So,
yeah.
So what they ended up doing was totally different to what CM Punk thought they was going to be doing anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Because they when they turned up, they weren't with CM Punk anyway, were they?
So that's what they're doing when they're playing on that, CM Punk said in the most recent segment on Raw, I got you into this business, I can kick you out, which is alluding to the fact that CM Punk kind of brought the Shield into WWE. But it's a bit of a mess. And
yeah, it's just...
Yeah, and they're playing into the fact that, Paul Heyman, the wise man, they're basically playing a tug of war over Paul Heyman. And I'm sorry, guys, but I am so sick of this high school drama shit in professional wrestling. I don't like this guy, but you're friends with him, so I'm not going to be friends with you. That was the kind of stuff that for me was really dragging down the feuds between guys like Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, between Kevin Owens and
the Randy Orton business.
Yeah, the Randy Orton business, and it's a load of high school drama, and I understand wrestling's Hughes Young. Yeah.
There's another match I'm not interested in.
Nope.
Kevin Owens and Randy Orton.
I don't
care.
Why on earth is it not the Kevin... we're not going to see Sami Zayn at WrestleMania. Maybe he returns to specifically interfere in the Kevin Owens Randy Orton match. But honestly, I have no idea why it ain't Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn at WrestleMania. I know they had a big blow-off feud in front of their hometown in Toronto, not their hometown.
They done the match, didn't they? They recently done the match.
It was a fantastic match. It was a
great
great match.
It's the best match WWE had done this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, easily for me.
Would have been my match of the year so far. Had not for Revolution a week later.
Had not for Revolution, just poured a load of matches into that top 10. Yeah. No, but it was just... I don't know, man. Like I am sick of the whole friendships and alliances, and because it does to me, it comes off as the school cliques. I don't like him, but you like him, so I can't like you anymore. So me and you are gonna fight.
Yeah.
And it's just got this whole like big Becky underneath the bleachers, Taylor Swift energy for me, and I'm not digging it.
So I'm not excited for that. The women's. I'm not excited for Tiffany Straton and Charlotte Flair.
Nope. Because that is an arse backwards feud. Absolutely.
Yeah, Tiffany Straton did have a good old spot on Raw. Was it Raw or SmackDown? The other week where she jumps off the Tron and that. That wasn't too bad. But yeah, I'm not interested for the match itself.
Yeah.
Charlotte Flair really
is a cardboard cutout of a character.
Yeah, she's just got...
She has refined herself. She has sanded down her entire presentation and personality to just the bits that she thinks people are going to find
considering
appealing.
like watching this, and then obviously because I watched the match that you recommended me with Charlotte Flair, and it's completely different Charlotte Flair.
Absolutely.
Completely different. Yeah. So I'm not that... Even, and then you've got what's going to be a triple threat match with Bianca Belair, Io Sky, and...
I'd forgotten about that.
What's the other girl's name? Rhea Ripley.
Yeah.
Well, my daughter will have a go at me for that, for forgetting that.
And Nick.
Yeah. But yeah.
Stop simping, Nick.
Simping ain't easy. But yeah. So yeah, I'm not excited for it.
It's hard out here for a simp.
I know. So I'm not excited for half of that.
No. I'll be honest. It's going to be a struggle watching 2 nights of this.
Yeah.
It's going to be a struggle.
Well, it's the bank holiday weekend, so I can just like slowly watch it over the...
Yeah. Slowly watch it as we nurse some hangovers or whatever.
And plus, because I'm not watching it live, I'll be fast-forwarding all the faff in between, so it won't be too bad.
Oh, hopefully it won't be 4 hours long each night. Because, I'm sorry, but the whole 2-night thing was created so that each night of WrestleMania felt a bit more contained and everything in it felt a bit more vital. And year after year, since that first time that they did 2 nights,
it out more.
They're turning basically the reason why they why they did it into 2 nights to stop making each night 6 hours of wrestling. I think they're going to get back there, man. I think they're going to get back to that point where it's just going to be
2 6-nighters.
2 6 hours. Yeah, because they're
6 nights, 6 hours worth over 2 nights.
WWE are so convinced that they can do no wrong that they are, they're going to turn the Royal Rumble into a 2-night event. They have already turned.
See, the Rumble wouldn't be bad as a 2-night because then you could have a Rumble each night.
Yeah, and honestly, best thing for it.
That wouldn't be bad. You could have a women's one night and a men's one the other night.
Personally, for me, and this might be a something of a controversially hot take, I think they should do a men's Royal Rumble and a women's Royal Rumble every other year. They need to alternate because I think 2 Royal Rumbles.
You know what? That would be really good because then you don't have to pigeonhole yourself into having the winner of the Rumble gets the main event at Mania storyline every year.
Absolutely, yeah. Because it just feels 2 Rumbles in one night, and maybe even 2 Rumbles over a weekend, feels overkill to me. They've doubled the amount of Rumbles they do a year. So they're doubling the amount of creative things that they can do.
But see, that's the thing. See, I understand doing 2 Rumbles a year. Mm-hmm. Because obviously you've got a men's and women. But see, but what my problem was with the things like the Elimination Chamber. Yeah. Is now we have to have 2 chamber matches because we need a men's one and a women's one.
Oh, we've had more than that in one night before.
Yeah,
we've had something like a men's, a women's, a tag team, and an intercontinental.
Yeah. But every year we need that, or we need 2 War Games matches, and it's like keep them sort of things when the story dictates. And then you don't have to pigeon yourself.
For the year that you have the men's Royal Rumble, have the women's War Games. And, vice versa, even though I will say, despite the fact that...
I'm going to interrupt you, Lee, because I've finished this King of Queen
night. So this wrestling
broadcast. Are you on the next... Are you ready for a new beer?
Yeah, pretty much.
Come on, beer me. What am I drinking now?
So we are now drinking, again from Pressure Drop in Tottenham, Alligator Tugboat. In other words, this is, in Pressure Drop's own words, the one with the teeth. Oh, no, I'm going to let you open it up.
Let me open my own beer. I was wondering why you was going to open my beer for me.
Sorry, I was caught up explaining what the beer was, and so I usually explain what the beer is and then do the
it away
tisk.
from the phone on the thing in case I deafen everyone. Still probably deafened everyone anyway.
Actually, the real reason you need to do that is not to get the water on the mic.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Some mics can survive being sprayed with water, but this is a USB mic and it is not one of them.
Oh, right. Mm-hmm. Well done. I just had a sip of that and I didn't take the flavour in. Let me try again. Hold on.
So the tasting notes on this one is citrus, resinous, and dank.
It's dank. Dank.
Are you not enjoying that one, Dave?
You know what?
You weren't really enjoying the last one.
It's weird, right? I have to So the initial taste doesn't offend me as much as the initial one. But I think over the course of the last half hour or so, 40 minutes, I seem to like that one more than what I'm tasting now. Okay. Which is a bit weird.
I'll be honest, mate.
But I mean, you know what they say about dank beers, though? This might be dank, but German beers are danker.
I am fuming. I am fuming. This is the end of the podcast. This is the end of the LOB Cast entirely. I renounce my friendship with Dave. I renounce this podcast. I am deleting its existence from the internet.
Well, speaking of things that are dank, I watched because we mentioned the Charlotte Flair match that you recommended me. So should we talk about our recommendations that we watched and our new ones?
Do you want to go with that one? Because I would like.
So you recommended me 2 matches, didn't you, last week? So you recommended me Charlotte Flair and Natalya versus. Was it the first NXT takeover?
Yeah, so it would have been a rival. Yeah.
And then.
No! It's just I got this wrong last time. It is just takeover.
Yeah, I think it's the first one, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then it was the Iron Woman match with Sasha Banks and Bayley, which is not Brooklyn. It was the one after Brooklyn.
Oh, whatever the take after.
Right. I think it was the one after Brooklyn. So I watched them. Right, I watched them a couple of weeks ago. So let me just remember. Right, I did enjoy because I think you said your favourite women's match was the Charlotte Flair one.
Yeah.
And the consensus is the other one.
Yeah.
Right. I did really enjoy that Charlotte Flair Natalya match. Natalya is severely under.
Don't
value.
understand how good she is in the ring unless you see that match. And when you see that match, you're like, oh God, what have we been missing out on for all these years?
I very much enjoyed that match. It was very good. Completely different Charlotte Flair to what I've been seeing recently.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was. I really did enjoy it. But I will, however, say, that even though I enjoyed it, I will agree with the masses because I did enjoy the Iron Woman match more.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the Iron Woman match more. But the technical wrestling on the first match was...
And I'm a bit of a technical wrestling geek, so that's the sort of thing that I like.
Yeah, but it was a good match to watch. I'd never seen that match. I think I'd seen the Iron Woman one before. I think I'd seen it. But that was really... I did enjoy that. So if you didn't watch that, go watch it. It was good. Yeah, absolutely. I enjoyed it. But I recommended a couple of matches to you.
Yes.
Did you watch? Did you have time to watch?
And, well... Let me just say, to finish this podcast off on a spectacular high note, the joy I felt in my heart watching Dude Love interview Mankind just before Cactus Jack makes his appearance.
Oh, this is the 97 one.
Yeah, this is the 97 one. Yeah. The joy I felt in my heart as I watched that match was just absolutely phenomenal. Even though this match took place on a Monday Night Raw at Madison Square Garden between Cactus Jack and, not Triple H, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, whose ring entrance music at the time was Beethoven's Ode to Joy.
Yeah.
He was still coming down with China and all that sort of stuff, but I could not believe that Cactus Jack had his debut not against Triple H, not against the Game, but against the Connecticut Blue Blood Hunter Hearst Helmsley. I could not fathom that, but watching it was just Mick Foley is... he's maybe my favourite wrestler of all time.
He's one of my favourite wrestlers of all time, definitely.
Reading Have a Nice Day, his autobiography, A Tale of Blood and Sweat Socks, is probably the reason why I am still watching wrestling well into my late 30s.
He's one of them guys that I think you won't be disappointed meeting him.
Oh no, you would meet Mick Foley and your heart would fill. Yeah, absolutely, and just
So I recommend you do that. I'm glad you enjoyed it, and the other match from the Royal Rumble, which you'd already seen anyway.
That match is one of the greatest matches of all time.
It is
Easily maybe my favourite WWE match ever.
One thing I do have to know, I have to find it out. Speaking of spiked baseball bats, is whether or not that 2x4 wrapped in barbed wire gets changed halfway through the match.
Yeah,
because it comes out. Cactus Jack. Triple H gets hold of it and starts eating Cactus Jack with it, and it's sticking to his clothes, and it's coming off the 2x4, and then it goes under the announce table, and then Mick Foley gets it back. Mick Foley, Cactus Jack, if you didn't know, same person. He then gets it out, and all of a sudden it's neatly back on the barbed wire.
Yep.
The barbed wire is neatly back on the baseball bat, and then Triple H starts getting it with it. Yeah. So I'm just wondering if it's a different bat, and they've done, they gimmicked it in a different way.
I mean, that's just what I expect from Triple H, that cuck.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if they gimmicked it differently. Yeah. So, but that's one thing I wouldn't like to. But yeah, so I'm glad you enjoyed that match.
Oh, mate, yeah, you've effectively because the Boiler Room Brawl is a match between Mankind, who is also Mick Foley. Mick Foley has 3 faces in WWE. He actually has 4 because Mick Foley himself counts as one of those faces. But it's Cactus Jack, it's Dude Love, and it's Mankind.
Yeah, they're his characters,
Yeah, and they are 3 of my most beloved characters in all of professional wrestling history. And the way they interacted with each other on screen is just magic for me. One of the reasons why I was such a huge fan of professional wrestling when I was a kid was because I saw the Boiler Room Brawl between Mankind and The Undertaker, and it just absolutely blew my mind.
The Undertaker? I thought you thought... Who did he fight The Rock then? Or was that the no person?
I Quit match was The Rock.
No, that was the Royal
Rumble. There's an empty arena match.
Oh, the empty arena match. Yeah, I think I'm getting that confused with the Boiler Room Brawl.
So that is another, it's... highly cinematic. It's a bunch of weapons. It's a lot of chair shots. But it was that creativity back in the day, especially hardcore wrestling in general, that really made me basically a fan for life.
Well, you're probably going to love my pick for this week's recommendation.
Oh, what's your pick for this week's recommendation?
Well, because recently, this past Friday, saw some new WWE events come to Netflix. Mm-hmm. Speaking of which, say WWE. It's listed as WWE, but this one is from 2005, and it's ECW's One Night Stand.
Oh, I'll watch that whole thing. I don't need you to pick out
I'm gonna pick it out for the people listening because my match is Masato Tanaka versus Mike Awesome.
That, sir, that
is 10 minutes. I know you like your 10 minutes of hardcore, so this is 10 minutes of hardcore wrestling. Don't worry about brain injuries. Just don't think about it because there's so many chair shots to the head and face in this match. It's quite violent.
Oh, God.
But that would be my pick for the people. So it's 2005, One Night Stand. It's on Netflix now. Masato Tanaka versus Mike Awesome. And if you could be bothered, keep watching the rest of the show because the main event is after that, and that's just crazy ECW nonsense as well. If you can, watch the entire show because it is the closest thing you will get to proper ECW. Because I don't think there's been a better tribute show to ECW ever.
Before or since.
Yeah, I mean, this show from top to bottom is great.
I mean, GCW have given it a go, but it's just not the same. It's just not the same thing.
No, but Masato Tanaka versus Mike Awesome. Because it's 10 minutes of good fashion, hardcore goodness, but also it's kind of a redemption for Mike Awesome as well.
Yeah. So the match that I am going to recommend to you, if I can find it on YouTube on ROH's channel.
See, he's Googling it now.
Yeah.
You can tell that we've not prepared anything. There's me. I watched my Masato Tanaka match like literally before. Well, I watched it the other night.
Yeah.
And then I watched it again before I came out because it's just 10 minutes of awesomeness. I'm seeing what he's Googling.
Well,
I'm feeling what he's Googling.
So for me, personally, I was going to... so you can actually find Samoa Joe versus CM Punk because I wanted you to maybe get the feelings that I'm sort of feeling for the CM Punk match. The kind of stuff that CM Punk used to do versus the kind of stuff that he's doing now. I feel like there was...
I have seen some early CM Punk stuff. I do remember, because I did watch the wrestling channel.
Yeah.
But, if you're going to suggest me a match, I might not have seen it, so go ahead.
So one of my biggest problems with CM Punk at the moment is this insistence on him being a babyface.
Yeah.
He wants to be a babyface because he wants to prove Vince McMahon wrong, that he can be the face of a company and be the guy who gets to go on Letterman or whatever the modern day equivalent of Letterman is now, and get to go on SNL and get to be the big friendly face of the company, which right now is being adequately done by Cody Rhodes, although even Cody Rhodes I think is better off as a heel. He's much more interesting as a heel. And I want you to see the ending of the Samoa Joe versus CM Punk trilogy, the last match in their feud. Not for what came before it, but for what came after it. So specifically, I want you to see that, and I'm going to recommend not just a match, I'm going to recommend a promo afterwards. It is the...
We're recommending promos now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I recommend the I'm a snake, you idiot. No, you stupid old man, I'm a snake promo.
Okay.
That is, for me, I like that one better than the pipe bomb. That, for me, is CM Punk. It is dastardly. It is devious. It is most sadistic genius. A genius that I think kind of faded away after he decided that, yeah, okay, alright, I've done a bunch of matches with a bunch of people and now I want to be world champion in AEW. Because, he kind of, as soon as he started going for the world title, that's when
the venom stopped.
Yeah, that's when CM Punk completely lost his edge. And he hasn't returned. He's not the same person. So I would like you to see the CM Punk versus Samoa Joe 3 from ROH where they end the trilogy. That they don't even get, years and years later, they finally cap off the quadrilogy at the final match of CM Punk's that me and you see live, which was All In Wembley.
That was a great match.
Yeah.
Well, we'll try and put all these in the doobly-doo.
Mm-hmm. In the doobly-doo, in the description.
Try and put all these in the doobly-doo.
In the doobly-doo.
So, yeah.
Got to always mention that the doobly-doo is in fact the description, because you never know how many, Vince McMahon always said, the first episode of the Lobcast is always someone's first Lobcast.
Yeah, it's the doobly-doo down below.
The doobly-doo down below.
That's the best way to describe it.
Yeah.
The doobly-doo down below. We'll put the description in there.
Mm-hmm.
And while you're down there, like, share and subscribe. We'll get that in.
Yeah.
And we'll get the socials in while I'm there. At LOB Wrestling on pretty much all the socials. Mm-hmm. Follow us. Because someone needs to. It can't just be me.
I don't even think I follow us on some of the social medias. Yeah. I try my best to stay off the threads.
You personally don't use a lot of the social medias anymore, do you?
No,
You've gone away. You're more of a blue sky man than next.
I'm a blue sky man these days because Twitter just became such an absolute... I am not. My blood is boiling less and less the less I am on Twitter.
That's true. But then again, I don't engage with the internet wrestling community on X, so that might be why.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, you're more of a collectibles guy.
Yeah, well, yeah, so...
Mm.
Yeah, no.
Fuck it.
No.